If you live in the US, Canada, or Europe, chances are you're not getting enough vitamin D in winter, even if you spend time outdoors. Studies show that nearly 40% of adults are deficient in vitamin D by the time February rolls around. So how much should you actually take in 2026 to stay healthy, strong, and energized? In this video, I'll walk you through the updated science, expert opinions, and practical advice so you can get your levels right this winter. So let's get started, my friends. Vitamin D, also called the sunshine vitamin, is one of the most essential nutrients your body needs, especially in winter. It plays a huge role in your immune system, bone strength, mood, and even your hormone balance. But here's the thing, most people barely get enough of it during the colder months. The main source of vitamin D isn't food, it's sunlight. When UVB rays from the sun hit your skin, your body produces vitamin D naturally. But in winter, especially if you live north of around 35 degrees latitude, that's roughly Atlanta in the US, the sun's rays are too weak to trigger that process effectively. No matter how much time you spend outside, your skin just can't make enough vitamin D. That's where supplements come in. Now, when it comes to how much you should take, the truth is, it depends. The official recommendations from the National Institutes of Health are about 600 IU per day for adults up to age 70 and 800 IU per day if you're older. Those are the official numbers, but honestly, most researchers agree they're pretty low. A 2023 review in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that these amounts often don't raise blood levels enough to reach the optimal range of 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. And that's the range where most experts believe the real benefits happen. So what does that mean for you? If you live somewhere with short daylight hours, places like Canada, the northern US, or most of Europe, you'll probably need more. For most healthy adults, taking anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day is considered both safe and effective for maintaining good levels in winter. But here's where it gets interesting. Some people, including well-known educators like Dr. Eric Berg, recommend higher doses like 5,000 or even 10,000 IU per day during the winter months. And he's not alone. Other experts who work with patients who are chronically low often use similar higher intakes, at least temporarily, to bring levels back up. Now, in my opinion, it's not about chasing a big number. It's about finding your sweet spot. Everyone absorbs vitamin D differently based on things like skin tone, body fat, and genetics. Before taking higher doses, it's smart to get a simple blood test, the 25-hydroxy vitamin D test, to know where your levels actually are. It's quick, inexpensive, and gives you clarity instead of guessing. Let's talk about absorption for a minute, because this part is often overlooked. If you have darker skin, your body naturally produces less vitamin D from sunlight than someone with lighter skin. That's because melanin, the pigment that gives your skin its color, acts like a natural sunscreen. It's protective, but it also reduces UVB absorption. So someone with a deep skin tone might need 3 to 5 times more sun exposure to produce the same amount of vitamin D as a fair-skinned person. That's why vitamin D deficiency is much more common among people with darker skin tones, especially in countries with long winters and limited sunlight. Where you live also matters. If you're in northern regions like Chicago, London, Toronto, or Berlin, the sunlight intensity drops dramatically from October through March. During those months, your skin's ability to make vitamin D is basically zero. If you live closer to the equator, places like Florida, Mexico, or Southern Asia, you might get enough sunlight year-round, as long as you spend a few minutes outside each day. But even people in sunny places can have low levels, especially if they work indoors, wear sunscreen all the time, or carry more body fat, because vitamin D is fat-soluble and tends to get stored in fat tissue instead of circulating in the blood. Now let's go back to those higher doses for a second. A lot of people following Dr. Berg or similar experts take 5,000 to 10,000 IU daily, and research shows that those doses can be safe for many people, as long as blood levels are monitored and don't exceed about 100 nanograms per milliliter. That is where toxicity risk starts to appear. Vitamin D toxicity is actually pretty rare. You'd usually need to take extremely high doses, like 40,000 IU per day for months, before it becomes dangerous. But that doesn't mean more is always better. The goal is to optimize, not overdo it. What I personally believe works best is to start with 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day if you haven't tested your levels yet. After 2 or 3 months, get tested. If your blood level is below 30, you can safely increase to around 5,000 IU daily, ideally under guidance from your doctor or nutritionist. For people who are clinically deficient, where levels drop below 20, some doctors recommend short-term loading doses of 10,000 IU daily for a few weeks, then a maintenance dose afterward. Again, always base it on test results and professional advice. Now let's talk about why it's so worth getting your vitamin D right, especially in winter. First is your immune system. Vitamin D helps activate it and regulate both your first-line defenses and your long-term immune memory. Harvard Health and Mayo Clinic have both pointed out that people with higher vitamin D levels tend to get fewer respiratory infections in the colder months. Vitamin D also strengthens your bones and muscles. It boosts calcium absorption, helping maintain bone density and lowering fracture risk. But new research shows it also supports muscle performance, preventing fatigue and helping recovery after workouts. That's why many athletes and fitness enthusiasts supplement year-round. Some studies even suggest vitamin D may support healthy testosterone and estrogen balance. More research is needed, but it clearly plays a role in overall hormonal health. Another benefit that people don't talk about enough is inflammation control. Vitamin D helps calm chronic inflammation, which can impact everything from heart health to skin quality. It's one of those behind-the-scenes nutrients that quietly keeps things running smoothly. Now, before you rush to buy a supplement, it's worth knowing that not all forms are the same. You'll mostly find two types, vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. Always go with vitamin D3. That's the same form your body makes from sunlight, and it's far more effective at raising blood levels. Here's another simple tip that makes a big difference. Take your vitamin D with food that contains fat, like avocado, eggs, olive oil, or nuts. Because vitamin D is fat-soluble, your body absorbs it much better that way. Some people even pair it with vitamin K2, which helps move calcium into your bones instead of letting it settle in soft tissues like arteries. If you're taking a higher dose of D3, getting one that includes K2 or taking them together is a smart move. And one more thing, you can't really feel your vitamin D level. Some people walk around deficient for years without realizing it until fatigue, low immunity, or mood swings start showing up. That's why testing matters. Once you know your number, you can adjust your dose confidently instead of guessing. If your test shows you're between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter, that's a great range. Below 30 means you need more support, and above 100 means you should back off. So here's what I think works best for most people in winter 2026. If you're generally healthy and just want to maintain, aim for about 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day. If you're deficient or live far north with little sunlight, 5,000 IU daily is often ideal. And for short-term correction under medical supervision, 10,000 IU daily can be used until your levels come back up. I honestly believe optimizing vitamin D is one of the easiest, most affordable health upgrades you can make. So this winter of 2026, before loading up on caffeine or blaming the cold for your fatigue, get your vitamin D checked. It might just be the missing piece your body's been waiting for. Along with vitamin D, lots of people take magnesium supplements for better sleep, but there are different types of magnesium supplements. I have made this detailed video explaining which magnesium you should go for to get better sleep.